Welcome to episode 139 of the Listen Up podcast, where we analyze a new album each week. I'm Nick, and this week we've got me, Jamie,
Della High 135,
and Jordan.
This is a certified Listen Up podcast.
Beautiful. This week we're taking a look at Something More Than Free by Jason Isbell, released in 2015. Really quick, if you want to keep up with the show, you can find us on Twitter at @ListUpPodcast and on Instagram and TikTok at @ListenUpPod. That's where we'll make any announcements regarding the show or merch. Speaking of which, if you'd like to support the show, you can find merch at interestpointproductions.com or at the link tree on the socials. So regarding the selection for this week, Jamie, why did you choose this album for us?
It's been a while.
A little red rockin' good time.
Yes. Okay. That's why I chose this album. Yes. Okay. So, sorry. Okay. For full transparency, I know that this week's the most recent episode will not have come out yet. We are recording this before I've edited that episode. It is currently May 17th. The last day we recorded was April 25th. It has been a whirl since that episode. That weekend after we recorded, I got on a plane and went to Chicago, and then I had my sister's 21st birthday party at U Chicago. Me and Vic went to that. We went with my parents, and we hung out with Susie. We went
Happy B-Day.
We went
Jamie's
to
sister.
Outback for her birthday, and it was just insanely mid. The drink was very good. I had it's called like the Thunder Down Under, the peach Thunder Down Under. I don't know. It's like a frozen peach alcoholic drink. It is delicious. I got to get a dupe for that shit.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
so I went to Chicago for the first time. That was fucking sick. We went on an architecture tour on the little Chicago River. I was like, fuck, buildings are beautiful. And then, then it was my sister's 21st birthday. So me and Vic got 2 handles of vodka for that. And we supplied. Even though there were other people who were 21 who could have gotten things, I was like, this is your birthday present, whatever. Tried Malort. That shit was the most bitter thing I've ever consumed. It was a whirlwind. But when in Rome, it's supposed to be terrible, but it's the city's New Year's celebration beverage. Probably is a bit, but I was like, fuck it, when in Rome. So we tried that and then taught a bunch of college students how to do tequila shots for the first time. That was very entertaining.
A bunch of college students? Why are you?
A bunch of 21-year-old college students.
Okay.
I don't know, honestly, but it was so.
I do.
They were all 21.
Me too.
But I have never been in a position where I'm like the sage. I'm like the disseminator of knowledge. But we were just in circles of shots, and I was teaching people
Oracle
how to do tequila shots. I was like, yeah. You know, lick your hand, put your little salt pinch on it, lick the salt, take the shot, bite the lime. I was like, this is like...
You like look up and everyone's looking at you and you're like...
Dude, it was literally... I was
taking a shot.
That was like... Yeah, I mean, it was cool, but I was like, this is so funny. I never thought I'd be... It was one of those moments where you're like, how did I... Like, where am I? What is happening right now? I was so fucking tired... too, and I basically like just pounded a Red Bull in the first 5 minutes I was at her apartment setting up for the party. Jeez. I was like, I've got to wake up. So that was fun. So it was like a fun. At one point, I heard like multiple of her friends talk to her and be like, "Dude, your brother's cool," and she was like, "Don't let him hear you say that." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, we're cool." Me and Vic were cool. They thought we were millennials. I was like, "I'm 23, bro. We're in the same generation." So me and Vic had to clear that up really quick.
Pain.
I was like, and I was like, when I was like,
I'm sure you heard
people would show up.
Someone mutter that under their breath, and you whipped your.
No,
head
we
around.
were talking like setting up beer pong, going over the rules because I'm like, what are the house rules here? I'm like, yeah, when I was in college, and then I was like, but it's been like a couple of years, and they were like, what? And they were like, I thought you were like millennial. I'm like, I'm fucking 23. Right? I don't know what stories my sister has told you that make me sound like a millennial.
Yeah, my geriatric brother.
my fucking decrepit octogenarian brother.
Yeah, my parents are getting him out of the nursing home to bring him up here for the party.
But I was like, first of all, that is not true. We're going to clear that up right now. And then later on in the night, someone was like, Susie, I was meeting them, and Susie was like, "Oh yeah, that's my brother," because they were just talking to me because I was like, my job. They were going to work at a similar job in the similar industry, and
cool.
they were like, "Yo, that's so fucking cool," and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And so I was just talking about that with them and stuff, and then they were like, "Also, what's your name?" I was like, "Oh yeah, we never actually met," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm like Susie's older," and Susie was like, "Oh, that's my brother," and I was like, "Yeah, and this is my wife," and Vic was like, "Don't say wife, makes us sound old, dude." It's like we got married. Okay, yes, it does make us sound older.
This is my long-term.
This is my
partner.
ex-girlfriend, current wife.
This is my.
But yeah, so that was fun.
We actually broke off the engagement
to get married
to sign the marriage license.
We then went
Fuck you,
from
haters.
Chicago. We took a train back. That shit was lit. Love trains. That shit was sick. Took a train from Chicago back to Denver with my parents. And then we were here for a day. And then Nick came into town. And then me, Nick, and my dad went to a concert at Red Rocks to see Jason Isbell. And that's why I chose. That's why I chose this album. Because
Why did we start talking about this?
it was one that I love by him, and we hadn't talked about it yet. And I think at the time I was listening to a lot of Palmetto Rose as well. But
Going around your elbow to get to your ass or something like that.
pretty much.
I don't know. I'm barely Southern.
Yeah, I'm barely Southern.
Yeah, I'm barely.
I was
Southern.
out from Yakin County, and I'm barely Southern.
Yeah, you guys ready for? I'm real ready for the summer this year. I think July's gonna be real nice.
Dude,
Hey, July 4th, the whole fam,
Dude,
whole
I'm
neighborhood's
fucking
coming out.
ready.
We're gonna have us.
Memorial Day
we
coming
got-
up.
we
Hey,
got
remember the
siblings.
reason we're off
We
work,
got
all right?
When is Memorial Day?
It's a week from. It's next Monday.
Do I
It's
have
coming
off
Monday.
of work on Monday?
Oh man, dude.
Our holidays are
I
kind of
probably
weird.
do too, actually.
Hell
Our holidays are
yeah!
kind of weird because we
Wait,
get like
next Monday?
we get like 3 weeks off around Christmas and New Year's and everything. So like regular holidays, we don't. So I gotta see, but I might be off work on Monday.
Wait, are you saying it's like the 22nd?
It's the 28th.
The 28th?
It's a week from this coming Monday. My bad. My fault.
I think I might have off on my. I'm trying to look at my company calendar over there, but it's in the fucking.
Dude, that'd be
it's
so
in the dark
perfect.
because the light, if I have it on, is right here, and I look just insane. But yeah, so then we went to that concert, and then my parents left town. We went to a Taylor Swift rave with another friend of ours in town with Nick. That was surprisingly fun. We also drank a lot of tequila, so that probably definitely helped. But it was still a good time. And then at one point, like it's the thing where when you get there, you're like, yo, there's a lot of like baddies who are our age. This is chill. Okay, there's some like moms in the back. But it's a Taylor Swift and it's 18 up. So there's also people with exes or whatever. So you're like, okay. And then at a certain point in the night, we kind of looked around the room and we realized we're like, the crowd has thinned a lot. And we were like, everyone in front of us are only people that have exes on their hands. And the only people behind us are all of the people who look like they're the parent chaperones for the people in the front. So we gotta leave. And so that's when we called the Uber and left. We looked around and we were like, we've overstayed our welcome. Okay, it is time to leave. So then we fucking Ubered away.
I'm just trying to get our money's
We
worth.
were.
That's already fun.
We were trying to get
That's
our
pretty fun
$40 a person money's worth. Absolutely.
yeah.
I forget how many tequila sodas deep I was, but it was enough to make it an enjoyable.
I was one tequila
experience.
soda deep and many other shots of tequila and deep Eddie's tequila.
Oh, Mister, I don't like tequila,
I had that tequila soda and I was
like,
like, yep, tequila is meant to either be in a fruity drink where I don't taste it or it is meant to be as a shot. It is not meant to be sipped. That was...
Dude, you ever had
Tequila soda
tequila
with
well,
lime?
dude?
No.
yeah, I think that's what I was
is
drinking.
that just a
probably.
tequila soda with like a squeeze of lime in it?
No. Tequila well is like the cheapest type of liquor you can get.
Yeah. Like it's the default one. Like
Yeah. But have you ever taken like a shot of it
No,
though?
you're saying
no.
like just doing a
Jeez.
shot of
Gross.
like Cuervo?
Like
Maybe.
it's probably worse than that. It's like probably a brand
It's
you've
worse
heard
than
of, like
Cuervo?
Yeah.
Aristocrat or
Yeah,
something.
whatever.
Yeah, I was
whatever
about to
the
say,
Kentucky
I think so.
Gentleman, which is a whiskey
Of
that we
tequila
bought for a beach trip. Me, Zach, Dylan, and another friend of ours, or maybe Dylan just got bleeped.
It was
because I
aged
was
like
down
a
here.
week.
It is a handle that comes in a plastic bottle and is $15 of whiskey. It is a $15 handle of whiskey. That should tell you, dude. We drunk.
That shit was made that day, buddy.
Walked from the place we were staying at the beach. We walked like half a mile up the like road to go to a 7-Eleven and bought every kind of Minute Maid bottled juice in the thing we could find to just try to find something to dilute it enough to consume. I think we just had to drink more when we got there. But yeah, so we had that fucking rave, and then we had another friend in town who then we hung out with the next day with Nick. I took Nick to the train to go to the airport. They were in town. They stayed at our place. We got brunch with them on Sunday morning, and then they were doing their own day thing, and then they left, but we didn't see them again after that. So then after that, I was like, fuck, I've been traveling and talking to people and hosting. My brain is going to shut off for the next week. And it basically did. And then went from that, had a 5 a.m. testing thing for work, and then didn't get a lot of sleep after that. And then Saturday and Sunday have been just moving shit. And this is now the like Wednesday after that. So my life has been just a whirlwind, and I don't know what place and time I'm in. So it was a trip to remember why I chose this album. But it's been great. It's been very fun. But holy shit, has it been busy.
Yeah.
Now we get to vibe until Bonnaroo though, which is like 3 weeks away, which is crazy.
See, Lil,
That's
you
wild.
get me if you wanted it.
I really want to go to Bonnaroo next year. It was like, the more I reflect on it and the more I tell people about it, like anytime someone asks me about it, I'm like, yeah, it's literally probably some of the most fun I've ever had.
And it's
Like,
fucking
it's
it's such a shame you can't go this year because the lineup's good, but also I was telling Vic, I was like, every year that we've gone, we've been like, we have lessons we learned about, like, especially the campsite situation.
Yeah.
So like last year it was great.
Yeah.
This year we know, bring stakes for the canopy, set the kiddie pool up day one. Matt gotta fucking really hunkered down with setting up the shade, because in the shade, just ripping beers in the shade at 10 in the morning, that was nice. That was so nice.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
And especially once we
chugging Yinglings.
Had our coolers melted, ice loads dumped in, and then the people next to us all in the kiddie pool, sitting in a fucking camping chair with my bare
Put
feet
my little piggies in there.
in the cold icy water in the kiddie pool, ripping beers in the morning. Every morning, waking up, consuming a liquid IV, a Pop-Tart, and a Yingling for breakfast. And then just going and listen to a lot of good fucking music. It was chill.
Yeah. You're gonna see Tyler Childers twice, right? Because he's playing at Bonnaroo. I think.
But since we're going in August at Red Hat, which I'm excited. I haven't been to Red Hat since the Monkey Show we went to, which is the poster's not here.
Me too. Yeah.
But because of that, his time slot is at a point where like he's at the which stage, and there's someone at the what stage, and then him and someone else at the what stage. So I might only make like a couple of songs, like walking out and then walking back. I'm not sure. Like, I would love to see him in that environment, but I'm not prioritizing it because of just like the lineup. And then also we're seeing him for a full set like 2 months later.
You said he's at the Witch stage?
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense for like how popular he is, but I feel like that was my least favorite stage.
Wait, which one's he at?
Yes.
Huh?
That stage?
Which one?
No,
This
it's
tent?
not at that tent. It's
Which
at
one
the
is-
Witch, it's at which stage? Not the what stage.
Wait, which
Not this
stage is he
He's
at?
at the which stage?
Not what stage?
He's at the stage where I saw Lonely Island, Juice WRLD, Teskey Brothers, The National played the Witch stage. We saw Flume briefly
The
before we
National.
left.
You can't watch The National while the sun's still out.
Dude,
That's
they
gotta
had
be
like a
such
3
scuffed
p.m. set.
experience.
It was wild.
The saddest music you've ever
At
heard.
3 p.m.
Wait, so
and then-
what
While
stage
it's-
are they
while
on?
it's
No, not the
100
what
degrees
stage, the
outside.
which stage.
All the
Wait, which?
what? Do you understand the joke that we're making?
Yes,
Jordan?
I'm
Okay.
also. I aided in the joke. You fuck.
You fell for it.
Well, you weren't there, all right?
No, I know.
Poop.
I made. I mean, it definitely sounds weird. I'm like, I'm guessing it's like what, who, what, when,
There's
where.
a lot of things COVID took from us that was very bad. All of the lives lost, all of the like things we had before, that we took for granted. It exposed the problems in the global supply chain. It robbed us of being able to live out turning 21 in college in our senior year of college.
Oh, that is true.
Like, I don't know
way
any
worse
bars
than-
in Raleigh. I know like 3.
We didn't get to thrive on Glenwood
Yeah,
South.
we still.
No, we didn't.
After we turned 21, the only difference was
3 a.m.
whenever
on
we
Glenwood.
drank at our house parties that were the like 6 of us, we could buy it. But one thing it fucking robbed us of was the 2020 lineup, which would have had Run the Jewels. It would have had Run the Jewels coming off of RTJ 4. It robbed us of Jason Isbell in the 400 unit. It robbed us of Glass Animals, Miley Cyrus, Lizzo. That lineup was awesome. Bon Iver, I think, was awesome. Dude, the 2020 lineup was impeccable. She was.
I do remember it like people talk about it being fabled.
And then they got some people back for 2021, but then it was like the fucking like
Not RTJ.
force of nature
Not RTJ.
robbed us of that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was just too fucking wet. Dude, Tame Impala, Lana Del Rey, Vampire Weekend, Leon Bridges, Young Thug, Flogging Molly would have been fun. Another Giz, DaBaby, Tenacious D, Sylvan.
Oh, they had
Sylvan
Tenacious
Esso
D?
Super Jam. That would have been crazy.
Oh, nice.
Nelly, The Growlers, Billy Strings, Mountain Joy. We saw them. JID. JID's there this year. I'm definitely seeing JID. So they've gotten a few.
I saw him
people
at
back. Marcus King
Dreamville.
Band. Fucking.
Cool.
There was so many.
Did you say, are they Christian?
The Marcus King band sounds like 3 Days Grace or something, you know.
Green Sky Bluegrass.
I hate
Oliver Tree.
I hate telling people one of my favorite bands.
Morgan
is,
Wallen.
His Golden Messenger, and they're like, that's not a Christian band. I'm like, no, it sounds like it, but no. They're like, did you say his, not his Golden Messenger? And I'm like, yeah, it's like a snake, like his.
We did Quietly Blowing It on this show. Way back
Sure did.
when.
You're damn right.
I don't know. Anyways, so
represent.
that is why this
Represent.
album was selected for us. And it's an incredible album. I fucking love it. Cover to cover, every song is great. Every song it's a lot like Southeastern. I think it might be my second favorite album of Jason's.
Ever?
Of Jason's. It's probably top
Oh,
20.
I was like-
it's probably top 20, top 30 of all time.
Whenever we did top 10 of all time, I forget what I rated it, but I think it was like my 6th or something. Like
Yeah.
like out of all of Jason's music, like I recognize that Southeastern is like it's like probably the best one. But
Yeah.
like Southeastern or like arguably, I feel like you could say like Reunions is like it's a really phenomenal.
It's a
album,
really
like,
fucking
the more
good
I
one.
listen to it, but this one to me personally, just something about it, like I don't know, like I don't cry a lot, like but like different songs on this album have made me like tear
Yeah.
up at different
Yeah.
times, which is like saying a lot. Like I'm just driving at night and like something more than free comes on and I'm like, why do I feel like I need to cry?
I get
Like nothing in this
home
song
from
relates to me personally.
I
Once I like dug into the lyrics more for Hudson Commodore for this album, I was like listening to it and I was like, man, this is painful.
Yeah.
Like this is but it's really good. It's really beautiful. It's like wonderful character portraits of like people living Southern lives in different time periods. But I do love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't think I could think of a better way to do it. So many songs on this album have made me tear up at different points in my life for different reasons, but it's still. They just made a weird ass sound below me. It sounded like Godzilla.
Down
But
below.
it's fun. It's
Remember them?
beautiful, and that's where I think Southeastern is a phenomenal expose of the self and putting so much pain and life into an album that is so universally Like, it's still, I still get chills whenever I see him play Cover Me Up live. And when he says, but I sobered up and I swore off that stuff forever this time, and the whole audience cheers, that still is like chills to me. And so Southeastern's like, I think it is one of, I think I rated it my number one album of all time when we did our top albums. It just transcends like the self in ways that are so poetic and beautiful. And it's a really like, this is what music at its core essence can be. But this one's also just a really fucking good album. Like, especially being a now, I guess, technically man. So like a Southern man who's going through life and just listening to these songs, and just every time I hear it, it's a different meaning. And like when we saw him live, so when we saw him, one of the songs on this album is The Life You Chose. And I've always loved that song. It's a great song. I think it's great. Are you living the life you chose, or are you living the life that chose you? I met so many people growing up who just like were just passively going through life in such a way that they never really like said, I want to do this shit, I'm going to do it. It was so much of like, I want to do this, that's not in the cards, I'm just gonna, I was born into this structure, I'm going to follow through that structure, right? And so I think it's a great song that talks about that, where it's like, are you living the life you chose? Are you living the life that chose you? And it's always resonated. That's a very powerful song to me. It's a very powerful message if you think about it. Like, are you passively going through life, or are you an agent of your own, like future and kind of creating what you want? And it's still like, he played that song live when we were at Red Rocks. My dad leaned over to me with almost like tears, like welling up his eyes. He was like, more and more every day now, I really am feeling like I'm living the life that I've chosen, and not necessarily that's like the predetermined path before me that's like chosen me. Yeah. And so that's a man at like 50, and it's like he's taking in account like the life he's lived, and he's finally like, yeah, like I'm free of that. And it helps that like our generation is like, why the fuck, like the civilization might not be here in 20 years because of flooding, so like I'm just gonna like do shit. And I'm like, honestly, like I have that too. I just am entering it at a much earlier stage of my life than like my dad and our parents' generation is, because they still had reason to follow the like 30-year career, planning to retire at this place, make sure you do everything to get the best job to have the like 30-year plan. But it's so interesting, and that's why I've always liked Jason's music, is because it's very like, it's one of the first musics that me and my dad really bonded over, more than like, oh, like I like Led Zeppelin too. This was like one where like every album we hear, every single, we're like, oh shit, new single came out, like talk about it a little bit and just shit like that. Yeah. So it's a beautiful album with every single song is an expose in like a different facet of the life I've lived, either from like my direct experience or just like seeing people around me who have just lived out the different characters throughout the album, which some tie back to Jason, and some are just like, I'm going to write a story about kind of the heritage from the region that I'm from. And so it's a like easily top 30, probably top 20 album for me. One of my favorites by him. So it does not surprise me at all to hear that you also will just tear up in different songs, because I still have that. I've listened to this album probably like countless times. I have no idea. It might be in the triple digits. Me too. And it still is just like, damn. Like this, if I really sit and listen, it really fucking resonates with me. It's great.
It's like I love a lot of like Southern style of music, or like country-ish music that is like just about like that's either like storytelling or like kind of about having a good time, but like it's got to have some form of like the people singing it have to have some form of authenticity that I can like kind of hopefully pick up on just from like seeing like interviews with them or something. Like I can't do it with a lot of radio country, but like I can listen to a lot of that, and I like like just kind of like good time country music. But there's a reason that I only listen to a handful of like Southern artists over and
Luke
over and
Combs.
over again. Hell no. And it's
Travis Tritt,
just
Morgan Wallen,
Luke Combs. Luke Combs needs to eat a salad, bro. He just needs to take a break, like just kind of chill out for a second. And
although I do think he's supposed to be a good guy. From what I've heard, I think Luke Combs is actually like a decent dude.
I do think.
I take it back. Eat cheeseburgers.
His music's dog shit. His music's dog shit.
What'd you say?
But I definitely I feel what you mean.
He has a song. He has a song called "The Kind of Love We Make." It's pretty good, honestly. Like I'll give it to him. It's it's just one of those classic country songs that's like I mean it's not a classic country song, but it's one of those like popular country songs that you hear, and if you like country music whatsoever, you're like, dang it, like this is kind of good. Why does it have to be kind of good?
Why do I have to Why do I have to like this, man?
I don't play it that often, but it
like
is.
Florida Georgia Line.
Yep.
You love them, but you
like,
don't want to.
I was going on this whole tangent to say like
you start walking mine.
I was going on this whole tangent to say like Jason is in the handful of country artists that I listen to because he makes like music that you can have like a decently good time to, but he also just makes like beautiful stories that are encapsulated in like 3 or 4 minute songs.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even like a concept album. Like sure it's a collection of stories or a collection of personal experiences, but it's like it's just him making music like based off of the life that he's lived and like the stories that he's heard, and like it's just very, 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 very well
dude
written.
and yes,
it's hard to listen to stuff that isn't quite as well written and be like, yeah, this is good,
it's like I've probably talked about it in the past. There was a guy who at one point I got really into watching like people on YouTube react for the first time to songs that I know and love. Like there was a guy, I don't remember his name. He was he had to have been on North Carolina. He had like Hornets and Panthers like paraphernalia all over his or memorabilia, not paraphernalia. That's kind of a bad connotation. But like the pennants and the banners and the flags and everything. And he had a very thick Southern accent, but he was like, I've grown up my entire life listening to hip hop, and that's what I currently listen to. But like, I wanted to do this as like YouTube series, and him like listen to like When the Levee Breaks for the first time and shit like that. And that's really cool. But there's another guy who got into Jason Isbell. It's one of my favorite things where he did like live first time hearing Elephant off the rip, and he like got to that like the part, and then he like paused it, and he was like, and then he came back and he was talking about like he was like, yeah, like I've lost like he lost like a relative to like cancer or something, and so he was talking about that. But he was, and then there was another song that it was probably Vampires, and he was like, this guy, there's 1,000 different ways to say something, and this guy gets the right one every single time. And it's like I really feel that. Like I don't know of a better songwriter that's currently making music and top of all time who like can just write songs this well. And it's not like he's doing it like flippantly. Like he takes time, like he grinds out his songs. It's not like, oh yeah, I wrote it down and it was a fucking hit. It's like I spent 3 months on this just in my private. I'm gonna bring it to the band. Everyone loves it. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
But it still is just like, I mean, like master at his craft. The songwriting is always incredible. Like
it's funny to hear just like the differences in experiences with writing, and it like gives hope to like, I don't know. It's not like I want to write songs or anything, but just like to someone who, like me, who doesn't have a lot of confidence in their ability to be creative, but like people are like, no, it's like a craft. It's like something you practice and you work at, and you scientifically break it down and you figure it out, and that's how you get better at it. And then there's other people like I think I've heard Sturgill Simpson tell the story like 3 times for Turtles All the Way Down, which is like probably his biggest song.
Yeah,
where he like
sure.
thought of the majority of the lyrics while he was just taking a shower one day, and he said he like almost like slipped and like hurt himself getting out of the shower just so he could get a pen and paper and write it all down before he
Run, if you listen to it, it is
like
so good. The bluegrass version is better.
Hey,
wait, this isn't the time for that debate, but
But
anyways, this album,
both versions are very good though.
Jordan, we're not going to dwell on what you thought because we know we've got it all right. We understand.
But I mean,
Yeah, he was just it was just some sad dude talking about some sad
it's
shit.
not
bro.
all
Like,
sad.
fuck,
Yeah,
you
me,
know?
I'm not sad actually. Yeah, I've never been sad before.
I mean, there was a couple songs I like
Joy.
I don't know if I necessarily like the same songs as you guys because of the same reason. But like How to Forget and Children were two that
Dude, Children,
I liked a decent amount.
sleeper song. People sleep on that song.
Maybe I just like it because it is like a build.
Dude,
you guys like know I like that like
it's
build type
it's
thing.
so fucking good. That song, yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. I
Oh,
love
look at
that.
Jamie.
I love that fucking song.
Jamie's getting feral. Foam coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. So how much,
But it takes a lifetime to
dude?
really love this album.
Even starting off with If It Takes a Lifetime.
How does that have the most streams on the album? That's
because
like-
people just autoplay the whole Jason Isbell discography, and then they get to this song, and then like, oh shit, I forgot to skip.
I would have thought 24
But
Frames
it's already
would be the top
registered.
because that was the one he got nominated for, like
Yeah.
the song itself for a Grammy. This album won Americana Album of the Year. I'm pretty sure it won in 2015, by the way. And 24 Frames might have won Americana like Single of the Year or something. I know it was nominated for a Grammy, but If It Takes a Lifetime, even starting off on that one, you know you're getting into the. It's so like, okay, it's like a little cheerful, like southern, like you're hearing someone play this on like their porch, you know. That's what this sounds like.
I've been working here. Monday it'll be a year. And I can't recall a day when I didn't want to disappear.
Like, and then the lyrics are just instantly, it's like the toil of the working man. But I mean, like the songwriting, like the I guess it's still the first verse because it's before a chorus, but it's the second part. But it's when I get home from work, I'll wrestle off my clothes and leave them right inside the front door because nobody's home to know. Like the loneliness in that stanza alone, it's just like, holy shit. Like, why would I keep my shit clean if there's no one but God is gonna know that I'm doing that?
That's literally my apartment right now. Not
See, you should relate to this.
We're tallying up the HelloFresh boxes.
I did.
Um,
It's more just
this-
like flies flying around my sink now. But I did the dishes yesterday, guys.
That's rough, bro.
I did.
This album did win Best Americana Album, and 24 Frames won Best American Roots
okay,
Song. at the
gotcha.
time.
I was gonna say, I know it was at least nominated, but
Wow.
I mean, like, and so the song, and then it, like the part of it is you see a hammer finds a nail and a freight train needs. Oh, wait, I'm looking at something more than free. My bad. Not If It Takes a Lifetime. I'm fucking dumb.
I was like, when you were talking about, when you said that earlier,
Yeah.
when you said that line, I was like, are we talking about, when did you pick-
No, that was my bad. Because in my head I was like, that's not the intro. That's not the way that verse is sung. What? But
It's a, If It Takes a Lifetime is it's like an upbeat song and the instrumentation for sure, but like, yeah, I mean, it just sounds like a guy who's like, honestly, I have never paid that much attention to the lyrics.
this was one of the first songs I really liked off the album.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's great. I love it, but it just sounds like it's about like a dude who's working and like doing his own thing and trying to like figure out how to live his life as a Southern adult guy.
Dude, I fucking
I got
more
too
and
far
more
from my reason.
the second verse in this one, or honestly the whole fucking song I really relate to, because I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, I gotta start like shaping up with some of the shit that I've done. Like I gotta do the dishes more, and I can't fucking like be like, oh, I'll get to that later. I'll fix that later. I've been using like moving into this, like we're renting the house, right? I've been like, if there's a problem, I'm not gonna be like, I'll fix it later. I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm fixing it now. I'm solving this problem now. Oh, the garbage disposal is clogged because I blended a shot glass. I'm getting out the fucking toolbox and I am solving this problem. I'm
all
putting
been
on
there.
my glove. I'm reaching in. I'm getting the glass shards out. I'm scraping them out from the fucking little clasp with a fucking spoon. I'm pulling those out. I don't care if it stinks. I'm fucking doing it. I'm going underneath. I'm resetting the fuse. I'm seeing if it runs. It doesn't run. It's still clogged. Okay, I'm getting the fucking screwdriver. I'm turning the like breaker bar on the bottom, breaking it up. It's working now. And I'm like, damn. Like, yes, I self-inflicted that, but I fucking fixed it. Like I did that. So I'm like, I'm done with
Good
that
for
shit.
you.
I'm fixing shit. I'm doing that more. And I mean, even in the first verse, he says, but I keep on showing up, hell bent on growing up if it takes a lifetime. I really feel that. Because I'm like, it's time to like do shit. Like I gotta like mow the lawn and plant these vegetables so that we have fresh produce, which is gonna be hype come June. And then
Delicious.
but also the second verse I really like. Not so much that like I'm learning how to be alone, fall asleep with the TV on, because I live with my wife. But and I fight the urge to live inside my telephone. I keep my spirits high, find happiness by and by if it takes a lifetime.
Learning how to be alone, fall asleep with the TV on, and I fight the urge to live inside my telephone. I keep my spirits high, find happiness by and by, if it takes a lifetime.
That shit resonates more and more with me every day. Right? I get so fucking tired of looking at screens. I'm like, I gotta do something different. And then just like and then they keep my spirits high, find happiness by and by if it takes a lifetime. It's like, it's not, I think my Instagram bio for a while was happiness is a journey, not a destination. And I think that is kind of the same sentiment captured by find happiness by and by if it takes a lifetime. It's like, you never reach a point where you're like, I am happy now. Like I've reached like I am satiated. I am happy. Like you can be happy, but it's not, there's a lot of shit that is going to break you down constantly.
Yeah. It's not like an indefinite, like a realization. Yeah. It's not like I'm happy now. Yeah. I'll always be happy. I mean, no one thinks that, but like you said, it's always a work.
But it's also for me,
even
the flip side of that is shit sucks, but it could be worse. So like looking for silver linings in every storm cloud or whatever, right? So it's like, oh fuck, today sucked, but like when I like the sunshine felt good on my face, and like shit sucks, but like I ate today. So it's like finding joy in more granular things that rather than searching for this like overarching like concept, like this big nebulous concept of joy. It's like take into account what you have in front of you and think of what I think it's what is the thing in therapy tells you to do? It's like do like gratitude sessions, like morning gratitudes. We're like, oh, thank you, son, for warming me, and thank you.
Sounds like yoga.
Yeah. It's and if you look at those practices, it's all about just like enjoying what you have. And so more and more, I'm like, I'm stressed about XYZ, but like, fucking these other things counteract it and make it way worth the like stress of shit. So it, I mean, and that's like 2 lines in the song. And it's just like every time I hear it, I'm like, yep, fucking feel that. Amen, brother. I feel that shit.
This really is an amen, brother song. If it takes a lifetime, it's like It's like, yeah, like we've all been there, bro. I mean, I guess not everyone has like related to everything in the song, but like, yeah, everybody has not loved their job at one point. Everybody has strayed from the teachings of their youth and then realized, hey, my parents actually aren't full of shit. Wow, like a bunch of stuff they said is actually pretty
There's
right.
some stuff that is still like, oh, whoa, dude, we've kind of broken that psyche. But then there's other shit where you're like, no, like that was a lesson learned by them making the same mistakes of youth that I am making and have made.
Yep.
Which also I think help like elucidate the fact that like you're constantly doing dumb shit and fucking up. Everyone does that. Everyone's making everything up. Mm-hmm. But it's like it's only a mistake if you don't learn a lesson for the next time you encounter a situation like that.
It's a good way of looking at it.
It helps coming from an engineering background where it's like test shit. If it breaks, what broke, fix that, do that. I take that approach to life where it's like this shit went south. Why did it do that? I'm going to learn from it. If you don't learn from it, it's a failure. If you do learn from it, it was an unfortunate misstep in the path towards success.
Little mishap.
You know, like that kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, the line between right and wrong was so fine. Well, I thought the highway loved me, but she beat me like a drum. My day will come if it takes a lifetime. Like, the whole chorus is a big amen, brother.
I got too far from my race and I forgot where I come from. And the line between right and wrong was so fine. Well, I thought the highway loved me, but she beat me like a drum. My day will come if it takes a lifetime.
You know? It's just it's like life is it's like you win battles, you lose battles, but life's about the war that you're fighting, you know.
Life's like a box of chocolates.
Did you just sing for us?
My name is Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah.
Although I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, I give you
my love.
Okay, then I'm gonna say it. It's a good song.
But yeah, so I
we have the same
fucking
sentiment.
yeah. I mean, and the second course too. That's probably the one I'll cut in. We got too far from our raising, and we fought till we went numb. We were running up a mountain. You were running up a mountain in your own mind, and I thought that I was running to what I was running from. Oh, our day will come if it takes a lifetime. That shit is just poetry. It's poetry in motion. Mm-hmm. Fucking love it.
I love all the little turns of phrases, the turning expressions on their head, and it's just one of my favorite things about Southern music. Little idioms and stuff that you play around with.
Oh, dude, the fucking the idioms in this one, they just keep coming. I mean,
bro, the idioms,
The idioms, though.
And because it's shit that I've heard my grandparents and like relatives say. So it's like. The constant wisdom that I've tried to pick and choose from in my upbringing, it all comes to a head in music like this, where it's just like, oh shit, like especially Children of Children, I really feel it, and that's another reason why just masterclass in songwriting. But like how many times, like if someone told you write down every way you could say that something happened in a second. Or like happened quickly. How many times would it take you to come to the conclusion of it all went up in flames in 24 frames? That's insane to me from a lyrical standpoint.
I'm familiar with frame rates and like TV normally being filmed in 24 frames per second, and I knew all that, and it still took me forever to realize that he meant like
shit.
that he means like it all goes away in a second, like 24 frames per second.
Dude, when I was listening to music in like a high school class, just doing whatever classwork, when that moment of realization hit me, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, yo, this MF onto something here. Because that was right at like my dad always tried to like expose me to his music, right? And so we listened to it in the car ride because he was the one. My middle school and high school was on the way for him to go to work in the other city. So we would drive in the mornings and we would listen to music. And most of the time I'd listen to the music. Sometimes I just had headphones in, but most of the time I would, and I wish I did it more, is try to engage with him because he really was trying to like connect with me over this thing that he's like, you know, this is like what I know. I'm going to talk about this. But this was it. And so one of my first concerts was Jason Isbell for this album's tour in Greensboro. And then after that, I was like, yo, this is really good. I got to listen to the music more. So I was sitting in high school listening to this song and it like my jaw almost dropped. I was like, holy shit. He's talking about like the fact that the average, like the TV frame rate is 24 frames. So that means whatever's happening, the images that he's describing are going up in flames. The film is burning. It's also in like 24 frames, like up in a flash. Film is made of cellulose, so it burns very quickly. But also the frame rate is a second of time caught in 24 images. I was like, this is fucking insane. But it's like you have to know about frame rates to even get that. And if you don't get that, you still get the sentiment of the song. Like you don't lose anything, I don't think. You just only gain things. And I'm like, that was one of the first moments where I was like, this dude is on another level of songwriting. That's insane.
This is how you make yourself vanish into nothing. And this is how you make yourself worthy of the love that she gave to you back when you didn't own a beautiful thing. And this is how you make yourself call your mother. And this is how you make yourself closer to your brother. Remember him back when he was small enough to help you sing. You thought God was an architect. Now you know he's something like a pipe bomb ready to blow. And everything you built, it's all for show, goes up in flames in 24 frames.
But are we going to talk about how bad the next song is?
Flagship?
Flagship.
An incredibly beautiful song that makes me tear up if I really contemplate my life.
Blah, blah, blah. They're sitting 1,000 miles apart. Baby, let's not get that way. Bro, come on, dude. Like,
bro, this is...
Get over it, bro. Get over
it. Guess you've never heard a love song before, Jamie.
Dude, this is another one.
I've literally heard Love Song by T-Pain, bro, all right? Don't tell me I've never heard a love song.
Story.
I said
Turn up the bass. Turn up the treble.
It's a love story.
I was devil's advocating with you, Jordan, but now I'm back on Jamie's side.
Okay.
This song, much like Vampires, I always enjoyed, but especially after like being married and truly building a life over the last 4 years with Vic, like this shit to my bone hurts if I really sit and think about like the scenarios described. Like, and then with just like the nice soft acoustic guitar through the whole thing. Yeah, the couple in the corner by the bar have traveled light and clearly traveled far. She's got nothing left to learn about his heart. They're sitting there 1,000 miles apart. Baby, let's not ever get that. And then the chorus, that shit rocks my shit.
Flicker while the elevator winds, and the couple in the corner of the bar have traveled light and clearly traveled far. He's got nothing left to learn about his heart. And they're sitting there 1,000 miles apart. Baby, let's not ever get that way. I'll say whatever words I need to say. I'll throw rocks at your window from the street. We'll call ourselves the flagship of the fleet.
If I really am in like the right headspace, just really listening and thinking, I'm like, God damn. I also don't ever want to get to that point. One of the joys of sharing like my life with a constant partner is we get to like we're changing in different ways all the time as human beings. And so it's like, oh, like, you know, like Vic has like new interests, and I'm like, fuck yeah, let's entertain that. Let's like do other shit. And it's just, you know, I feel like sometimes it's a lot easier to go through parts where you're like, you know, I have like this person and they go to work, I go to work, and then we eat dinner and we hang out. But, you know, you don't discuss as much, especially if you have like TV and other things. But I'm like, no, like and then I'll recognize, I'll become cognizant that I've like hit a rut of like a week or two. And I'm like, no, like I gotta fucking not do that, because that's no way to live. Like that's just passively living out, you know, the precious gift of life and time that we have. So it's like, I also don't ever want to get that way, you know, and try to think back of like, what would I have done when we were like dating? Like what, like, did I do any grand gestures? Like, what am I not doing now? So like, I've been really, even small stuff where it's like, you know, I never want there to not be like flowers in a vase on our table, because I know that makes Fix happy. And I didn't do that for like the first 3 or 4 years of our relationship. But I'm like, I need, like, it makes her happy and it makes me happy creating joy. I need to do that all the time. So even shit like that, where it's like, I just want to keep shit like different and interesting. So this song, just a fucking like heartbreaker, but not in the sad of like, oh, I'm so sad. But it's just like, I'm taking account of what I'm doing. Is it enough? You know, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's really happy from like the narrator's perspective.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, like we see these people who obviously are just here because it's what they do. Like it's just like, oh, time to go on vacation. We're going to the same place again. Like, but like he's obviously not like that. Maybe he was more at the beginning of the song, and then he's like, oh, like I want to start doing these things again that like make me active in this relationship and invest in it, and like that's kind of the thing about like being in a relationship, is like being so committed to the union, not just what you want or what they want, but being so committed to keeping it that like, oh, like I will like try and inspire it. Like I'll try and like do things that I know they like, because I know it'll make us have a good time and I love seeing them happy. And like that's one of my favorite things. Like I've listened to this song countless times over the years, and like literally just listening to it earlier tonight, the third verse probably hit me harder than it ever has before. Like where he says, you got to try to keep yourself naive in spite of all the evidence believed, and volunteer to lose touch with the world and focus on one solitary girl.
You gotta try to keep yourself naive, and in spite of all the evidence believe, and volunteer to lose touch with the world and focus on one solitary girl. Baby, let's not live to see it fade. I'll cancel all the plans I've ever made. I'll drive and you can ride in the back seat. We'll call ourselves the flagship of the fleet.
And the whole thing about being naive was what really got me, because like I mean, you know, like because of like one of the best things I can say about a lot of recent life changes that I've been through is that I've had a lot of character development and context added to my life that really helps me empathize and enjoy a lot of those sad old country songs that I like.
Yeah. No,
and just because of my personal situation, I was like, you know, like how am I gonna feel like this again with another person? Like how am I gonna trust someone else enough to like really like fully fall? And I was talking with this dude that I work with about it, and who like recently went through a similar thing, and he was like, dude, like I don't know you super well, but like just like from hearing you talk about this whole situation, like you're gonna be fine. Like,
Yeah.
like the whole thing about like staying naive is like it sounds like that's what you want to do, and like once you get to the point with a person where you want to commit to them, like that's how you have to do it. You have to go all the way in, or else why are you doing it? And I feel like I don't think I'm ready. Like, of course I'm not ready to do that with another person, but like I recognize that when I am ready to do that with another person, I know how I want to do it, and I know that like that's the way to do it. Just to give myself to it, lose all comparison with like the rest of the world, and be like, this is it. Like I'm focused.
Yeah, I mean, more and more in my life as I live it, I'm developing like mantras, kind of, right? One of them
that's kind of
is the essence of like,
kind of a therapy thing.
happiness is a journey, not a destination, right? That's kind of one thing I've always said. But another, like the biggest one that I really, really love is comparison is the thief of joy. And that is so fucking true. Like,
I love it too.
Like the amount of times I see, I'm like, fuck, like this person does not have to worry financially at all. I make good money in my job, and Vic makes good money at her job, but it's still like fucking making ends meet is a struggle because of just the fucking society we live in. But I don't know, like I look at that and then I'm like, fuck it. They probably have rich parents. I don't know. And then I move on. And the more that I have the power to do that, it has just been like so much better in my brain. And so yeah.
It's so funny that you
comparison
is
the thief of joy,
like,
man.
pick that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've loved that quote for a long time. And like there's different variations of it. Like comparison is the like I don't know. Some people go hard with it. They're like, comparison is the killer of joy, or like the murderer of joy.
And
I feel like thief is a great way to put it.
It's not like, oh, never compare yourself to others. Because sometimes it's also a boon for the psyche, where you're like, oh, like shit's hard.
I'm doing
but
it right.
Like, you know, look at other people who couldn't hack it. Like at least I and we are doing better than like this example. But also you can't get too wrapped up in that, because then you start to do the other side of that coin, where it's like, oh, but like this other person is doing this, and there's probably shit you don't know going on there, like rich parents, or just like they have a sugar daddy, or just something that like you don't realize looking as an outsider, that it's like, oh, well, this is like, I just am not set up in the same way. And like our circumstances, though they appear to be the same, they are not the same. And I think that was when I really started like honing that in. I was like, I just don't care about social media as much. And I just like stopped, which is not to say that like, I think everyone should stop or like have some soapbox. I just like, for me personally, I'm like, I'm just gonna not, I don't know. And then it's nice. It's pleasant. I'm just like, dude, this summer, I'm a gardener, all right? I'm just out there getting my hands in the dirt, you know, feeling Mother Earth on my fingers.
Amen.
But yeah.
Yeah, Jordan, yeah. What do you think about that? You want to start a garden, or what do you think about comparison being the thief of joy? You want to sound off?
I actually bought cilantro and basil.
Fuck yeah. Oh, you make a little kitchen herb garden? Hell yeah.
No, dude, I tried. That shit was dead in like 2 seconds, bro. I'm pretty sure I accidentally started off, because I bought them with Arden. I'm pretty sure I started off with leaving them in the hot car one day.
You can't fucking bake
and I think
you can't bake the plants, dog.
Yeah, so then I tried to salvage them, and now I haven't watered them in like 2 months, and they're just sitting dead on my like thing.
Yeah, you shouldn't have bought that.
You should give it another try, but do it in a way that you're like, I'm going to Lowe's and I'm buying the plant, and then I'm going home and putting it in dirt.
Well, see, okay, after I salvaged it, all right, I cut off the cilantro plants that were just like obviously like withered. But then it's in a very small pot. Yeah. And I think I bought the wrong size pots, because it's in like one of those like cartoon like plant pots that are like the clay pots that are like this big, you know? Yeah.
I think that should be fine.
I don't know, dude.
I think it might be a different factor.
It's hard caring for plants, dude. I'd water them.
It is literally.
I'd be like, what's happening?
We
I
had
don't really
to
know
evolve to do agriculture, but it's.
Dude, I'm like, how does any food get on my table, bro? Like that's crazy, and I gotta wait 8 months before a tomato comes out. Like,
yeah,
bro,
but once the plant starts to flower and produce fruit, you're fucking swimming in maters, dog. I've got 9 different versions of tomatoes, or I've got 3 different versions, 3 different plants all coming up right now. Me and Vic do. I can't wait. I'm gonna be.
Wait, once it gets big, then it just keeps coming, keeps producing.
Exactly.
I think it's too late, but I should really plant some tomatoes.
Well, it's not too late. Just like it's too late for you to start from seeds. But if you buy the already like adolescent plants or whatever from like the pre-startup, I think you should be fine in North Carolina. Like it's only mid-May.
I got you.
But yeah, you should like you're a fucking tomato fiend, dog. You should definitely.
I love homegrown tomatoes,
dude.
so
And the fact like the green bean plant I'm growing goes back like it's like the most heirloom plant I have. It's like my dad literally has them in a Ziploc bag called Bean Guard beans. They're like his grandma would plant them, and then like my grandpa and my dad, and now I've got the beans. I'm growing some. I can't wait to grow produce and save the seeds. Dude, farming is just something that I've really it is like beautiful. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful trade-off between us and Mother Nature. Like a little bit of work is rewarded and sustenance and energy and providence.
That would be really. That is something I want to do too, because like just having like fresh basil. Like I want a herb garden more than anything.
My thing, like rosemary. I want a rosemary tree. Like you go to some restaurants.
And thyme?
Rosemary, thyme, parsley, basil, and some mint in a separate pot because that shit goes crazy.
Not cilantro?
Some cilantro would be cool. Just a little bit.
Cilantro, I could eat that shit off
That's
if I
Vic.
could bite.
That's
You
Vic.
look like Wolverine.
Vic's
right
like,
now.
Look like what?
I said,
That's
look
true,
like
you got the
Wolverine
hair.
right now, bro.
Dude, I look like Wolverine. I look like Edward Cullen. Drew always calls me the Prime Minister of Canada.
Justin Trudeau.
Like, bro, I do not look like Justin Trudeau, dude. He's the only person that ever.
When have you talked to Drew? That's funny.
Oh, he used to always say that like freshman year of like college.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Like,
gotcha.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But dude, I
Trudeau.
have gotten Wolverine and Edward Cullen before, so.
Bro, every time we talk face to
the middle
face, I'm envious of being able to grow a beard. You know,
I'm so sorry.
I just don't have that. Although it's more and more whenever I go like a week long and I'm like, fuck, I really need to shave. I'm gonna like see my coworkers. Then it's like it's getting fuller, but it's not to the point where I can like grow it out. Full.
Dude, get one of those rolly thingies that just.
That's what I need. The little cleat wheels that just.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you talked about How to Forget earlier. That's another fucking great song. I've always loved She Won't Stop Telling Stories, and most of them are true. She knew me back before I fell for you.
Give her weed, give her wine, give her anything but time. Get her out of here. She won't stop telling stories, and most of them are true. She knew me back before I fell for you.
I feel like that is I love that line so much. So good. The whole song
And
is just
the music sounds really good. I like his guitar playing in this.
That's true. The guitar is really good, and then just the delivery of the "Teach me how to forget, but I ain't sorry." Like that's great. And then I think it's a great depiction of this is who I was. I'm coming to you. Thank you for helping me get to where I am. Please continue to help me to improve and be better every day than I was yesterday. Like that's just the whole song in its essence. And I think it is a wonderful depiction of that. And then from the chorus, the like, teach me how to unlearn a lesson.
Teach me how to forget, replace the characters in. Teach me how to unlearn a lesson. Teach me how to forget,
That hits home so much.
That's my favorite.
Teach me how
That's
to
my favorite
unpack
line
this
of the
previous trauma from relationships, upbringing, people I knew in school, all of the shit that has made me who I am. Show me how I can be better and teach me how to leave that shit behind in going forward. Always hits home for me. I love that so much. And then, yeah, like you said, the delivery of the song itself is just another just phenomenal piece of that song. It's fantastic. Oh, it's so nice. That
Also
would
like
will
Children
make me
of
tear up sometimes. For sure. You said you also...
Yeah, Jordan, you said
Yeah.
you like Children of Children a lot, right?
Yeah, it's mostly because I was listening to it, and then because not a lot of his songs, but like he does have like, yeah. I mean, is it just him? I guess, yeah.
So he's probably playing with the 400 unit, but he's like the songwriter that brings it to the band.
Okay.
And then he shows it to the band and is like, all right, let's, do a little rough cut kind of thing.
Does he play the guitar, or is that also the 400 unit? Does he just sing?
So no. He always is playing at least acoustic, sometimes electric, and sometimes does the leads.
That's what I thought.
This song he plays the solo for sure. It's him playing the solo in it. Not Sadler. Sadler Vaden from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
North Myrtle Beach.
North Myrtle?
North Myrtle Beach,
Fest.
South Carolina.
But in this song specifically, it's him playing the solo because I got to see it live either once or twice. I can't remember if he played it at Last Red Rocks, but I know he played it the first time I saw him, and that shit blew me away.
Got it. Well, I was saying like the music in this one is very nice. As when I was listening to it, like the first 5 songs are kind of just mostly kind of laid back, just instrumental, or not that this isn't instrumental, but like kind of just a guitar vibes,
Yeah.
and like maybe like a small bass line,
Yeah. I mean,
except 24 frames. It was mostly like flagship, and definitely flagship. Just that like guitar picking a little bit,
Yeah.
And then, but this one was like a lot more, again, upbeat a little bit, which is what I like, and even like that solo was really.
Yeah, and it's a really good, just like the whole song, like it feels like it's driving somewhere, and then it really comes to
Yeah.
it. Like, this is one we were talking about. I love just all the Southern idioms thrown in throughout this. This is one where it very much feels like I'm visualizing like a mental image of the, like old men in a gospel chorus, sepia and saddle horses, easy on the reins, like picturing like
Pictures of the farm before us, old men in a gospel chorus, sepia and saddle horses, easy on the rein. 81 a motor in your mama's 17 again. She's squinting at dusty wind, the anger of the plain.
my grandpa being in like gospel choruses, and then all the photographs have like the sepia tone where they're like old and yellowed, and there's like a vignette on it probably from like the early 40s and 50s filmography, like photography and everything. And then talking about like, I was riding on my mother's hip, she was shorter than the corn, because the song's title is Children of Children. The whole idea is like the existential guilt of unintentionally and beyond your control, like robbing your parents of their youth because they had you when they were kids, when they were teenagers, when they were early. Which he's talked about in later songs as well, like talking about in Dreamsucker, where he's like, oh, my mother's red hair, talking about his parents being young. And he talks about it also in interviews and like the documentary that he did for HBO, where he's like, yeah, like I couldn't help but feel like I somehow caused the like pain and rift in their young hearts when they divorced and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so this song kind of has that, but you don't need to know that to get what this song is saying.
Yeah, but before I watched the documentary, I like never paid too much like attention to the lyrics of Children of Children.
Yeah.
Or like I always liked the song, but like just never dove deep into it. And I always loved Dreamsicle, but I never knew how autobiographical it was.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was just kind of like another one of those portrait songs that he writes about like people and situations that like that he didn't necessarily grow up in, but
Right.
he knew a lot about, so he could empathize with them. And like but yeah, watching the documentary, I was like, oh, like both of these songs are like strictly, pretty much strictly about him.
Yeah.
Like him growing up and like his experience with those emotions. And it was like, it's crazy to it's crazy to hear him articulate that almost. It's almost like survivor's guilt. Like
Yeah, kind of.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same thing, but it's a guilt that you. It's like a guilt that you feel that feels justified in your own mind, but you talk to other people about it, and they're like, "No, like it's out of your
Like
control."
you're exonerated. You
it?
don't have to feel that.
But you yourself, you're like, how could I not feel bad about it? Like this person or like this group of people that I love is affected, like or is still affected by this thing that I couldn't control, but like it was my, like, for lack of a better word, fault. But
Yeah.
it's not really a fault. It's just like how the like
It's just how the chips
cards
fell.
fell.
Yeah. I mean, and so like this shit is so fucking like, I mean, the imagery of like I said, pictures of the farm before us, old men in a gospel chorus, sepia and saddle horses, easy on the rain. 81, a motor in, your mama's 17 again. She's squinting at the dusty wind, the anger of the plain. And it's just like, pray to God that God was bluffing. Just lines like that thrown in where you're just like, oh my
That's hard.
God, dude.
To me, like one of the reasons I never really dug into this song is because it feels, to me, it felt like dense. I was like, there's a lot going on here, and I just never took the time to sit down and like and really understand that he was talking about generations of his family and like him like breaking the cycle of like of not having a kid when he was a child still. Like Children of Children is kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But like, and I also didn't know that his first name was Michael.
Yeah.
Like he's named after his dad until diving into the song, and I was like, oh, his first name is actually
At
not his.
17, I went by Michael. No one ever called me by my own name.
Didn't mean to break the cycle. At 17, I went by Michael. No one ever called me by my own name anyway. 5 full generations living all these expectations, giving way to one, late to have a baby on the way. And you were riding on your mother's hip. She was shorter than a corn. All the years you took from her just by being born.
But yeah, the whole chorus of like, it just paints a perfect picture of you were riding on your mother's hip. She was shorter than the corn. Like those, like we've harped on it so many times already. But those two lines just explicitly create an image in your head right off the bat of like mom holding kid, walking next to a cornfield.
Just a young, like a kid, like a children
makes you
with a child. Like,
yeah, and it makes you think of like her either being young or at least like
small.
being small or innocent.
Yeah.
Like it paints a picture of like a gentle person having to like lose their innocence and care for their own child.
Immediately followed by all the years I took from her just by being born.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking.
It's just devastating, dude. Yeah, I mean, and in verse 2, how could we expect the two of us to stay in love when neither knew the meaning of the difference between sacred and profane. Like, you haven't lived enough life to know, like, the real difference between right and wrong. How are you going to have a kid at 17? 17 ain't old enough to reason with the pain. Because you haven't lived enough life to know what more life can offer before this absolutely, like, life-changing event. And yeah, talk about like 5 full generations living. Like, that's crazy if you think about what it would take to have 5 generations living at one time.
Yeah.
And it's just and I went to school with people. I there were people who were in my grade who I know that had 3 kids by the time we graduated high school. And so I mean, yeah, it's just an incredible like that. This is one of the songs where it's like, I did not live that life, but the amount of people I've seen and then saw what they went through and just what they're still going through ongoing is just, it's crazy. And then just, yeah, the beautiful like violin solo followed by that guitar solo. That's like like a minute and a half. Just incredible.
It's pretty long. It might be longer than that, maybe.
Yeah. It's yeah, I mean, it's just an insanely beautiful song.
Yeah, no, it is.
That I've always
saying loved. That you chose a different life. The life you chose was not that one.
That's correct. And like I said earlier, and that one covers the most, but this one has a lot of really good imagery. Like, are you who I met on a July night before the town went wet? Like, that's such I don't know if it's a northern thing, but I know it's an exceptionally southern thing, where the Tempest movement was really, really strong and heartfelt.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about like Yadkin County voting to become no longer be a dry county, like be a wet county. Yeah. I remember Jonesville, the town, becoming wet in the early 2010s. Like, I remember that shit in our lifetime of like, you couldn't just buy beer at restaurants and grocery stores and other shit.
That's not like Jonestown?
No, Jonesville.
No, Jonesville.
Oh, Jonesville.
Jonesville is the shitty part of the Yadkin, Surrey, Stokes County triangle.
I was about to say, I don't think I've ever experienced some place not having like alcohol.
Yeah. I mean,
it becoming like wet, but for you guys,
it was there. Like the Yadkin County one. That was like, it was 2006. I was like 7, depending on when it happened. Yeah. So it's like, that was an early part of my like consciousness, but like, I remember hearing about Jonesville like having beer available for the first time at like places.
I heard like I think the story of that I was told was like, it was like one of our friends like went to elementary school with 2 guys whose mom was the first person photographed and like put in the paper because she was having like the first glass of wine sold in Yadkin County.
Yeah.
And it was at a little tiny Italian restaurant called Taste of Italy. And she was she was just the first person to be served alcohol in Yadkin County. And that was before stores had alcohol, because I think restaurants had it first. But
I mean, profit motive, yeah, restaurants definitely are going to have it first. But yeah, and so like that happened when we weren't even like babies. Like we were in elementary school when that happened for us. Yeah. And so hearing that
they built the ABC store and they got that tax money.
Yeah, baby. I remember the ABC store in Yadkinville being constructed, like driving by, going to school. And I'm like, oh shit, the building's nicer and nicer. And it's probably one of the nicest buildings in Yadkinville.
That's true.
But yeah, so it's like, I remember that shit happening. It's not like a lifetime away or anything. And so that line's always really stuck out with me. I'm like, yeah, like I know like that feeling of like the town being before the town went wet. Like I lived that era, you know. Another great line, where's the Jesus that you swore you'd find after running the last line? That shit always hits home for me.
Ooh, after run.
Catch.
Who are you? Not the one I met. One July night before the town went wet. Jack and Coke in your mama's car. You were reading the bell jar. Where are you if you're not on your own? Always lonely, never quite alone. Where's the Jesus that you swore you'd find after running the last line?
And then also just later on in the song where he talks, and he says, we could go somewhere where people stay up late or just somewhere new, talking about getting away from the bluegrass state, getting away from like your Kentucky Southern upbringing, just getting somewhere else, like anywhere else. We could go to a big city or just literally anywhere to get out of this shit town that we're in, that kind of thing. That always hits home a lot. And so, yeah, it's another beautiful song. And then the chorus is fantastic as well. And like I talked about earlier, you know.
Are you living the life you chose? Are you living the life that chose you? Are you taking a grown-up dose? Do you live with a man who knows you like I thought I did back then? But I guess I never did. Did I, kid? I got lucky when I finished.
Yeah, the chorus is honestly really perfect.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like like the whole "Are you living the life you chose, or are you living the life that chose you?" is like an existential question that I think the majority of adults deal with. I mean, like, I guess not frequently, but like it's a thing that you come back to every now and then, and you're like, "Am I doing the right thing? Like, do I need to forge a new path?" But then also, yeah. Do you live with a man who knows you like I thought I did back then? The way he sings out like I thought I did, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Like he thought he was the guy, but he didn't know he wasn't the guy.
Yeah. But I guess I never did. Did I, kid?
Yeah. I also like I didn't know like what yeah, I didn't know what the bell jar was for a while when I was like listening to this song.
Yeah, Sylvia
And
Plath,
he mentions
right?
it in the first verse. Yeah.
Bell
Which
jar?
is like it's just a book called The Bell Jar, and I think it's this says the only novel written by Sylvia Plath.
Yeah, because she was a big poet. Didn't she kill herself by like ovening her head?
Yes, but it was just to, like she turned the oven on and like suffocated herself.
Yeah. It
Like,
wasn't
like you would
she
kill
cooked it, it
yourself
was
with
just
a
like
car
that.
in the garage.
Like, yeah.
She didn't like put herself in the oven.
Right. Yeah, the bell jar. I think that's where the like fig tree imagery comes from. Like life is a fig tree spread out before me, but I was just hungry. I think that's from the bell jar, but I'm not positive.
Oh, okay. So it says the book is about a woman whose previously optimistic view of life descends into mental illness when she doesn't go the way she planned.
Oh, so that's
about
that's even more of an allegory for the entire like narrative of the song
for the whole
itself.
song. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it says it would make sense that the whole fig tree allegory is in the book because it's about like choosing your path and like choosing your own destiny. But it says part of the possible cure involves her obtaining sexual freedom through the use of a diaphragm. Hell yeah.
I read about that in a book I had to read for freshman year English. Yeah, the fig tree is in the bell jar.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
where it's like from
Sylvia Plath was cooking.
I think that I might be on the cusp of getting into poetry. Possibly. I don't know.
Of what?
I don't know. Get on the cusp of
brother.
getting into poetry. I don't know. I also
Music's as far as I'm going. I think.
that's the thing. Yeah. Music's way forefront. But I want to get more into reading as well this year, and so
Yeah.
I feel like I got to start by reading some great classics. Maybe I'll get us some Steinbeck or something. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
The Grapes of Wrath.
But like,
Oh, I've read
Chill
that
on
book.
brother. That's good.
see, I haven't.
Well, I was forced to read it, so
Yeah. I don't know.
probably a good book though.
I mean,
forgot
Isn't it
everything
about the Dust Bowl?
Yeah, it's
About
about,
what?
it's about like life in the,
The Dust
I
Bowl?
think.
Oh yeah, dude. It's been a while since I read that book. I think it was junior year of high school.
Of all the books I read in junior and senior year of high school, I only didn't like one of them. Like that was a solid.
I was about to say I've liked a lot of them. I was about to say I actually liked a lot of those books.
Yeah. So then the titular track that I accidentally talked about earlier, "Something More Than Free," beautiful song. Another almost perfect song, if not perfect, just about like the working
titular?
man's toil. And I mean, just and then like the build, I get chills when he talks about what I'm working toward is something more than free, with like the build up and the music at the same time. Oh my God. So good.
And the day will come, and I'll find a reason. Somebody proud to love a man like me. My back is numb, my hands are freezing. What I'm working for is something more than free. I don't thank God why I'm here where it hurts. I'm just lucky to have the work.
So good.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to, like, I've never completely understood my connection with the song, but I've always loved it because I personally relate to basically nothing about it. But like nothing from my life anecdotally lines up with like anything from it. But it's kind of like, it's just like, you know, it provides insight to people who are trapped in like a system of of poverty, basically, or like it's not even really about poverty. It's just about like a dude who finds his value in the work that he does. But it's kind of like, I don't even know if it's written to be heartbreaking. I mean, it's definitely sad in certain parts because it seems like he's not coming home to anyone, and he's just like finding solace in the things that he does for like his job every day. But like the part about that hurts to me is like, you know, a lot of employers don't care about you, you know?
Yeah.
Not all of them, but especially like someone working for like a profit driven like a railroad company, which is like what it sounds like he works for.
Because a
like,
hammer needs
he gets
a nail,
injured
and the poor man's up for sale.
Yeah. Like that line always gets me. The poor man's up for sale. Like he gets hurt. Like what you think? Like maybe like you can get disability, but they're gonna fight you tooth and nail. Like they're probably just gonna drop you and find a guy who's 20 years younger than you to keep driving nails into the ground. Like it's a sad reality, but it's a beautiful portrayal of that I feel like gave me a lot of empathy for a situation I never understood before. Like I heard the song.
Yeah, and I think I always love no more holes to fill and no more, like talking about when I get like when I die, I'll sit beside the Father and the Son. No more holes to fill and no more rocks to break. No more loading boxes on the trucks for someone else's sake. That shit always sticks out to me a lot as well.
For someone else's sake, the poor man's up for sale. Like finding like just hoping it all gets better after you die. Like it's all like. God, I said like the song might not be heartbreaking, but like I don't. You could try and make an argument for that, but to me, the song is. It just pulls at every single heartstring.
Yeah,
but I love it. I do love it.
Yeah.
Favorite song or no?
The song? Yeah. I love the song. Yeah.
No, I said, is it your favorite song?
Oh,
off the album.
I mean, like instinctively, yes. Yeah, so I would stick with yes probably, but like there's so many other great songs on the album that I've loved more than I have in the past. Like that I listened to in the past couple of weeks, and I was like, man, I either didn't pay as much attention when I was listening to the song in the past, or I just didn't like relate to it as much, and now I relate to it more. Just the sentiments of it, because a lot of the songs are portraits of characters and. They aren't really autobiographical or anything like that, but like senses of, like, I don't know, like, yeah. I think I said everything. I don't need to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I also have the same thing with Speed Trap Town, a lot as well,
yeah.
Where it's like I live some of the things that are talked about here, but I never concretely knew anything. But it's just like. There's so much in the song where it's like, damn, like this is, I mean, Speed Trap Town. That's like I don't know how many people listen to this have ever heard that turn of phrase, like description. I heard it all the time growing up in the South, but it's like the town is so small that their police budget runs on them getting just meaningless speeding tickets. So they sit under bridges and like buy like speed limit changes to try to pull you over and have you pay the ticket to help pay the town's like dues or whatever. Like, that's what a Speed Trap Town is. Yeah. It was just one horse town, Speed Trap Town, very similar things. But it's another song where it's just like, damn, if you really sit and listen to the words, where it's, you know, starting off by saying, she said, it's none of my business, but it breaks my heart. Dropped a dozen cheap roses in the shopping cart. It's like there. And then later on in the song, you find out more shit where it's like, oh, the dude who's like dying, that people are like, oh, sorry about your, you know, dad or whatever. He's a piece of shit. Like he's a shitty dude. But that's not the image that people are presented in the Speed Trap Town. They're like, oh, he's like a trooper, part of law enforcement. God bless him. You know, it's a shame to hear about like his heart attack. But like he had the heart attack that's ultimately been leading to his downfall of illnesses because he was pulling women over to like have them have sex with him to get out of like meaningless speeding tickets. Like when he talks about he was a tough state trooper till a decade back when that girl who wasn't mama caused his heart attack. Didn't care about us when he was walking around just pulling women over in a Speed Trap Town.
Was a tough state trooper till a decade back. When that girl, it wasn't mama, caused his heart attack. He didn't care about us when he was walking around, just pulling women over in a speed trap. But it never did occur.
Like just the like nastiest like use of power for like gross sexual gain and just all this shit. But it's like that's not the image that people know. So they're just like, oh, sorry to hear about your daddy. Here's some roses, put them on me, give them to him in the hospital next time you see him.
Yeah.
And then talking about shit like well, it's a Thursday night, but there's a high school game. Sneak a bottle up the bleachers and forget my name. These 5A bastards run a shallow cross. But I've always loved it's a boy's last dream and a man's first loss. Like the amount of people who are like, I could have went pro. And then they just never let go of that dream. And ultimately they never grow as a person because they can't. Yeah. They can't break out of the like, you weren't going to go pro. That's the best 1% of the best 1%
I was,
of athletes.
Dude, if I hadn't broke my arm.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows like an uncle.
I haven't pulled my shoulder.
Classmate's dad or now a classmate in high school who like, you're like, yeah, if it weren't for my bum leg, my bum knee getting broken, I would have been in the NFL. I would have been a millionaire. It's like you weren't. That wasn't gonna happen to you. Yeah, so that line has always really fucking hit. It's a boy's last dream and a man's first loss. That shit. Also, and it never did occur to me to leave till tonight when there's no one left to ask if I'm all right. That's another like, fuck. Just the whole thing. It hurts, but I don't know. It's complicated. Like ultimately, like the narrator gets out of that small town that's bringing them down. So I guess it ends on a happy note, but it's like, damn, it's just a very interesting look at what small town life is like.
Yeah.
Undefeated, right? You said you like Hudson Commodore, like, right?
I don't think he did. Jordan.
No, I'm talking to you,
It
Nick.
was just
Didn't you?
I was going to say, what?
My fault. Sorry.
I was like, dude, I don't even know who Hudson Commodore is, dude. I was like, I hope this isn't for me, man. What the fuck?
But I do like Hudson Commodore a lot.
I
used to like it a lot.
And you were
how did you think
right paragraph? You were like,
yeah,
Bro, how'd you think that was a question for me, dude? What?
I just thought, like, I made some weird mental jumps, and I thought Jamie was misremembering.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just like wasn't paying attention.
I was like,
Yeah.
But,
Commodore,
That
Troubadour,
song's another
Turnpike. I don't know.
yeah. Excuse me. The first verse is funny, talking about the main character, her son going off to school to be an engineer, and Sarah went to try out all the sins. So like it's just funny, like the daughter going to school just to run wild. But I had to. It does take like some context. Like I didn't know what a Belvedere was, or a Delahigh 135, or a Hudson Commodore, and after I looked it all up, I was like, oh, like I understand now. Like the song is kind of about like her wishing she had more, but like she chose to raise these two kids by herself, and because of that she wasn't able to attain these like material things or like this ideal future that she kind of wanted. But at the same time, you kind of hear in the second verse that like really like it wasn't like she wanted those things. Like she wanted to experience them maybe like a couple times, but that's kind of the rush she needed, because you see in the second verse that she dated all these higher up people, and she just didn't want to deal with it. Like I love the second verse so much.
It's so
Like,
good. It's so fucking
like
good.
A doctor, then a lawyer, then a Roosevelt. Tried to take her underneath the wing when she was in her 20s in the Bible Belt. Before she knew, she didn't need a thing. She didn't need their pity on a single girl. She didn't need their help to raise the brood. She wouldn't be returning to her daddy's world. She didn't want a better attitude. She just wanted to ride.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it's about her like dating people of high status, people of like well-to-do living, like people who would help her have a financially stable life.
Yeah.
And her just realizing like it's better to be by myself than and like raise two kids than to like rely on this other person. Like I'll struggle and make it, and it's better to do that than to like either deal with them or deal with like whatever reality they would give me if they're trying to tame who I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, it says she didn't need their pity on a single girl. She didn't need their help to raise the brood. She wouldn't be returning to her daddy's world. She didn't want a better attitude. And I love that last line, the way he says it. Like, she didn't want a better attitude.
Yeah.
Like he
She
puts a little
ride
spice on it.
Let it.
In a
yeah,
Delahigh
but
135.
Yeah, it's great. It's like it's her reconciling like what she could have done with her life with the reality of what she decided to do. And to me, it's kind of realizing like, it was all worth it. Like I could have ridden in these nice cars, but like I got two kids off to school who seem like they're going to be pretty decent people, and I didn't have to ride in these fancy cars. Like,
Yeah.
I just made a good life.
Yeah. I mean, and like also, if you look at the vehicles he's referencing, they fit with the time frame of the narrative that he's painting.
What about the narrative?
Like if you look at all of the, like a Hudson Commodore, a Delahigh 135, a Belvedere, like the years and the models of when those cars came out, they're all old cars that would fit with the narrative of the time frames of the stories he's telling. And like some of them are like the economic options. Some of them are like, I dream of like a luxury car from when I was in the Great Depression, raising kids. Like, it's crazy. And it also it just sounds
how accurate
cool
it is,
as well. Like, it's a cool sounding song where he's singing about like Delahigh 135. You're like, I don't know what that is. Sounds old, classy, and luxurious. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
And like another
Yeah.
another one of my favorite things about it is just I think it's best seen in this song on the album, just and it's reflected in a good amount of other like southern songs that I really enjoy about like what is that song called? It's the last song on Decoration Day. It's like A Loaded Gun in the Closet or whatever. Yeah, like it's just about like they're like it's something that I've kind of always struggled with where it's like these people, it doesn't take a lot to like help them have them for them to be content or for them to be like happy with what they're doing with life. And like for me, like I'm just hard on myself. Like it's hard for me to be content because like I feel like I need to be productive or I feel like I need to be improving or like I feel like I need to be seeing results. And it's just like there's just people that exist who are happy to like who are happy to live a life that isn't dependent on productivity or isn't dependent on results or isn't dependent on status or isn't dependent on material things. It's just honestly sometimes I gotta tame myself on material things. I'll be balling out too much sometimes. But,
bro, keep balling.
fuck it, we
Jordan
ball.
said money printer go Bert. But yeah, that's just something I admire a lot. Is like I don't know. I mean, like people in my freaking family are like that. It's just like you see people who have been married for like 50 years.
Yeah.
And you're like you guys have lived in like lived together like for 50 years. Like how do you do that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just it's admirable.
I mean, like I think back and I look at like who I was a year ago, 2 years ago, especially 3-4 years ago. I was just fundamentally a different person than I am now.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we probably all were.
Yeah, I mean, and that also happens when you're in your. I mean, we're always changing as people, but also like, or hopefully you're evolving as people.
Yeah.
But especially like where we're at the point in life where it's like I've lived enough, kind of just on my own, doing my own shit, where I can look back and be like, who have I been in the past, and who do I want to be in the future? And yeah, it's definitely in a moment where it's like I want to like leave these things behind. I want to take these and I want to do more of these. And yeah, I definitely have that like all the time. Just looking back and it's like, damn. And thankfully most of the time it is, I don't like thinking about that past part in the mirror, but I'm glad like I've left it behind for the most part. And like, I just feel like sometimes I'm just overcome with just joy and gratitude for where I am and what I'm doing. Like I'll be driving with Vic, listening to music, and then having the dogs in the back of the car and just driving, and like I turn a turn and we're going home and I see the Rocky Mountains. I'm like, I'm just going to keep driving and listening to whatever on the radio and just really appreciate what is going on right now and who I am, where I am, who I'm with, you know. I feel that more. I just get, sometimes I like am overcome from like head to toe with just like warmth, where it's just like, damn, like shit is hard. Life is hard, but it is very much like, it's nice. And it's nice to have moments like that. And I have that, like anytime I go back to North Carolina, I have that like the entire time I'm there. Where I'm just like, damn, this feels nice. But also like, I know that that's kind of because I don't have it all the time. So
yeah, makes sense.
It's a I don't know, and it's very nice, and it's nice to have moments in life like that. So yeah, songs like this where it's the whole song is about introspection and reflecting on who you are, you know, drinking some bourbon, listening to music from the past, and just, you know, thinking about where you were, but also like, I'm not sad I didn't get to live the life that I'm envisioning, you know, like I'm glad for what I did.
Yeah.
And because it's probably where I am now. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for past me. So like I did some shit right. I feel that too. Yep. And that song followed up by Palmetto Rose always really gets me, because Palmetto Rose is just depictions of Charleston the whole way through, and it just is like, damn, like,
the searing critique of Charleston, North Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah, my bad.
I was about to say, I was like,
It's South Carolina too. It's not.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah. I love that
It's
song.
very
though.
down there.
Palmetto
I've been
Rose.
there several times.
Freaking silly boy.
This song is where I learned what the iodine state was. I never heard South Carolina referred to as the iodine state before this.
The iodide state.
Iodine state. Back before most salt was iodized with iodine, because like the human body needs it for processes. So back before most table salt was iodized, South Carolina's produce was very, very rich in iodine. And there was like a few years where the Chamber of Commerce for South Carolina tried to get people to buy more South Carolina produce and move there and shit for the iodine rich, to stave off like ulcers and gout, I think is what iodine cures.
Scurvy. I don't know.
Now, scurvy's vitamin C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea that shit,
vitamin
but
C.
it's in the course. This war that I wage to get up every day. It's a fiberglass boat. It's Ozari's in May. It's the women I love. It's the law that I hate. But Lord, let me die in the iodine state. I fucking love this chorus. It's like, life is hard, but it's the little things that matter. Lord, let me die where I'm from, in the company I love.
It's more than I wage to get up every day. It's a fiberglass boat, it's Ozari's in May. It's the women I love and the law that I hate. Lord, let me die in the iodine state. Lord, let me die in the iodine state.
Just let me buy some real fireworks and eat some peaches on the side of the road. All right.
Peach.
You can believe what you want to believe. But just like the like bluesy guitar going on throughout the whole thing, fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
The song really, I remember the song really taking me off guard, like the first time I ever really listened to it.
Mhm.
And, like listening to the second half and being like, wait, like King Street, like he's talking about Charleston, right? And it like completely, it doesn't, yeah, I mean, it kind of completely switches vibe, like instrumentation kind of like halfway through. And, but yeah, I love the song. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear a song about, there's like 2 songs where he mentions South Carolina.
Yeah, because he talked about South Carolina earlier on the album as well.
Yeah, he talks about Hilton Head.
Yeah. The watercolor sky at Hilton Head and Flagship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the song, the picture telling, or the like pictures created by the storytelling. I mean, left hand jumping the trees in the wind, like so clear of an image of driving through, like passing trees when you're driving through the Southeast with your hand out the window, like just making shapes. Doing shit. Thought he had the red lights memorized, glass in this gravel like the stars in the sky. What a way to talk about, like, he just blew through a red light, got in a car accident, he's dying, and he tells me the chorus of the song. Like, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, I love it. Talks about the Palmetto Rose, and then the like you were talking about. It's in the like bridge where it's just out on Sullivan's Island, they're swimming on the beach where the big boats rolled in with the earliest slaves and their children, our first American kin. Here on King Street, we're selling our roses, 2 for a $5 bill. And tonight, after everything closes, I'll follow my own free will. And I've taken my fill.
Out on Sullivan's Island, they're swimming on the beach where the big boats roll in with the earliest slaves and their children, our first American kin. Here on King Street, we're selling our roses, 2 for a $5 bill. And
like the beautiful parts of the South that, like, in my head, I'm like, this is like the heritage of it. So much of it harkens back to like the just terrible, brutal, bloody history of like bringing over people that you've deemed as like less than your own, like, flesh and blood, that you think it's right to submit them to like being slaves, and like you put a price on people. But it's like palmetto roses around Christmas time, and basket weaves and tapestries and blues music and all the things that you think of as like the rich culture of the South. All of the cooking in the South, every dish in the South, trust me, it wasn't white people that made it. Like everything that in my mind is this rich culture, like it has the like undeniably bloody, terrible, heinous history behind it. And so it's a song that's exploring like, and all of this is being sung over like the blues rhythm, which is music that was co-opted by black musicians down in the Mississippi Delta in the early 1900s. You know, so it's just this incredible song about the richness of the Southern culture, but also like, don't forget like the fucked up past that it's taken to get where it is, you know? And then just, yeah, I love the song. It's so fucking good. So nice. Yeah, I don't know. I love the song. It's incredible. It's very good. Very good. And to a band that I love, that's probably been like always been like my lowest on the album, just because it's like, I mean, it's really good, but you know, I've never really like.
Not a good closer, huh?
I mean, it's like talking about like I was 22 backwoods years old, and then the dissonance when he's like, somehow you put my and then the music in that is like so discordant. I've always loved that.
Yeah.
But it like if I were to like take a song off of the album, it would be that one. It just doesn't really. It's never really resonated with me, and I've never really delved into it much to like get it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this song a lot more after listening to it this past week. Apparently, I need to look up like the interview where he said this, but like someone said the song isn't about the drive-by truckers, which like apparently I thought it was.
That's what I always thought it was.
Yeah, they said it's for a band called Centromatic that he just knew people in. But it kind of makes sense that it wouldn't be about the drive-by truckers, because a lot of the song is about it's about him admiring like people who were in a position where he's kind of in now, like or I guess where he was in at the time when this album came out, because he definitely has a like larger audience now than he did back then, and like he's singing about watching them and feeling like he's like being seen, and these like Southern people singing about like things that he thinks matters and things that like need to change, and how he thought he was the only person like that. But now like he talks about later in the song how they like decided to stop playing music, but like he's like somehow you guys stopped playing, but somehow I'm still playing, like I'm carrying the torch, and like I guess it's my turn now. It's almost like a changing of the guard, like paying respects to the people who like who you think helped pave your way, at least through inspiration and through like through giving you the courage and the ideas to write these songs and put yourself out there, and like hope people will listen to you, hope people out there feel like you. But yeah, I don't know, it's hard for me to even say like which song on the album is my least favorite. I love them all.
Yeah, I mean they're all great. That's not to say I don't like this song. But
no, yeah, I know you're in the same boat. Like, but I'm just like I used to say like the exact same thing you did, where I was like, to a band that I loved, I don't know, I kind of skip it sometimes. Like it's good, but like I don't know, I don't listen to it all the time. Yeah. But now it's a lot more touching than it used to be for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. I know. We talked a lot, but yeah, I can't say anything else. So
Yeah, it's a remarkable album from start to finish. It's fantastic.
Yes, I guess.
Yeah, sorry. So our ratings for it, I'll start and then Jordan will go last because he picks next album. For me, it's a 10. It's an easy 10. Very good album. So I'm sure.
yeah, I'll give it a 10 too.
Yep, that's what I figured. Yep.
Jordan, come on, baby. Come on. Give it a 3. Come on. Go lower. Do it. You won't.
I think I'm gonna give it a 4.3.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
That is an average of 8.1, and it puts it at 13th overall. Puts it solidly at 13th. Just below Dreamland by Glass Animals and just above Coming Home by Leon Bridges. That's a weird
Pog.
realm of shit. Nice. So what are we going to be listening to next week?
Okay, well, I was thinking about it.
Similarly country, introspective.
No, we're gonna be
Country-
listening to a sequel album.
sequel.
A sequel album. A sequel collaboration album.
Oh baby.
Known as Savage Mode 2. 21 Savage and Metro Boomin.
Okay.
This is
Metro, what's some
this is the one with Mr. Right Now on it, right?
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Let's go.
I
Let's
know.
go. Okay.
Apparently, it's supposed to be more good songs on it. Again, maybe me and you won't like them, Nick, but I have
No,
I
I'm
have
excited.
hopes ish.
I've just needed to check out more 21 Savage and I just haven't. But I'm excited.
Dude, you should check out the 2016 XXL Cypher.
Her loss, it was pretty good, Hair loss.
I was about to say I actually follow that person on Instagram now, the one who's in the picture, because I was like, who is this
Oh,
person?
really?
Yeah, I just wanted to know. I think it's just like I still don't really know why. I thought it like revealed in like following them, but it's really not. It's just kind of like I kind of Actually, I think I knew the story and then I forgot about it because it was like kind of insignificant. But
Fair enough.
yeah. Oh well.
Jamie,
Also,
wait till
brand
you
new
hear the Morgan
Draco. I really
Freeman
like that
intro
one,
on this
but-
album.
Where it's got some young
Anyways.
on it.
Young Nutty. Also, it's got Morgan Freeman on it, so it's like, how could we
A
not?
rat
What?
is a rat.
A rat.
Oh yeah. I've
Always
heard that.
a rat.
Well, nice. So that's what we'll be getting into. Recent listening. It's been a lot. Like I said, it's been almost a month since we've recorded.
It's been a damn
So
minute.
it's been a lot. I listened to a lot of Jason in preparation for this album, or for the concert. What have I been listening? I'm trying to think of anything like interesting that I've listened to. I've listened to a lot. Oh, Violet's down here now. Hi. I've listened to a lot of Coin. Coin's been very
What?
good.
Quarters, nickels, dimes. What's your...
Malibu 1992. You Talk Too Much. Some other shit by them is very fun. I wish I would have paid more attention to their set when we saw them at Bonnaroo, when we were just kind of like sleeping outside of the or outside
Tired
of the
as
stage,
hell.
waiting
Yeah.
on the next act. That's been good. I've listened to a lot of. I've been really hitting a few songs very heavy on like constant repeat. The other day, I listened to Slow Dances by Winnetka Bowling League on repeat, probably 8 times in a row. I was just in such a good mood listening to it. It's a
Only 8
fantastic
times,
song.
brother.
Another
We know you don't
one
have
I've been hitting,
ADHD, buddy.
Hayloft by I don't remember. There was some song by Soccer Mommy I really was listening to a decent amount. I enjoyed it a lot.
soccer ball.
Bro, she has an incredible version of "I'm on Fire," like the Bruce
Yeah,
Springsteen
I've heard
song.
that. It's very good. But Hayloft by
It's
Mother
amazing.
Mother is very good. And I started with the hey, not the bang, and I started with the hey. That's been a very fun one. I would recommend checking that out. But also Wet Dream by Wet Leg I've been listening to that song quite a lot.
No wet leg. Sorry, bud. Nope.
You don't like Wet Leg?
I've written them off.
You not what? Why have you written off Wet Leg?
I'm not rocking with the. I don't know. It's too far. It's too indie for me.
Wet Dream is really good. I don't know. It's a very good song.
A band named Wet Leg. I can't get behind.
Dude, I don't know. Oh, dude, the song Wet. I haven't listened to any other Wet Leg, but
I'm being facetious. I'll check it out.
dude,
I've listened to one or two of their songs. I forget what they were, but
I've only listened to Wet Dream.
okay,
I was
fair
in
enough.
your wet dream,
Right. It just makes you think of self control. That's why you like it.
No, it's different than that. It's like polar opposite vibes.
Fair
Like
enough.
there's it's but that's been very fun. I can't think of anything else. I haven't really like. It's been so much shit since we last recorded. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I won't list off singles or anything, but Claro's new Live at Electric Lady Studios EP. So good.
Who made that studio?
Jimi Hendrix. Easy mode, bro. What else? Parker Millsap's new album, Wilderness Within You, very good.
Send me
That's the one with
yeah.
front porching on
Dude,
it.
that
Yeah.
summer anthem right there.
Great song.
Song's great.
I've been Libby Rodenbow's new album. She's like a local folk musician, the violinist in Mipso. She has a solo album that came out that's really good called Between the Blades. What else? Finally listened to that new Charlie XCX album. I mean, it's great. I don't listen to a ton of like straight up pop music, but hers is amazing. I've been listening to a good amount of Yeah, you should check her out. A lot of Lucinda Williams, a lot of Dawes, a lot of Mapache, kind of a lot of the usual stuff. Still a lot of Beach Fossils, a good amount of country stuff. Just Jason Isbell, Turnpike Troubadours, a little bit of Tyler Childers and Sturgill Simpson in there every now and then. But and also a strange amount of Bruce Springsteen.
You been getting into
just-
the boss?
Yeah, just I was like, you know what? Everybody likes this guy. I'm gonna try him out, and now I understand. So
He's got some good shit.
yeah, I mean, like, if you tell me "Born to Run" is a bad song, I think like you're just kind of like stupid.
Dude,
Like,
Born to Run.
It's like
I'm on fire.
yeah, I'm on fire is amazing,
dude, it's so fucking good.
or like tougher than the rest.
Yeah.
Oh!
Like I've
Okay,
never
Jordan, you're
done
up.
a full Springsteen tour, but
I still have like
I know Dancing in the
like
Dark.
6. Yeah, that song's amazing, dude. Oh my god. Jordan, you're really up now. I'm sorry.
I was just rinsing that Bullet song that I shared in the thing where you said "bro" on. That song's just so good. And then I just listen to that over and over again. Every once in a while, I listen to something else.
Wait, the Hollywood Undead song?
Yeah.
This is insane, bro.
Wait, why?
Because,
you're
like,
a
they
Hollywood
make,
Undead
like-
guy.
They make like WWE theme music. Like it's
Wait, is that like bad? Like is it like basic?
No, it's just surprising. It's just surprising.
It's not basic. It's just like
Well,
I
is
don't know.
Nick? Are you saying they make bad music?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't like it.
Okay.
It's like- Like I need to listen to the song again, but I feel like I've heard other songs by them in the past when I was younger, and it just sounded very Linkin Park esque. And
I mean,
not
they
a
have a
huge
they have a
Linkin
song
Park fan,
featuring Jelly Roll. So
I don't know what that is. Or who that
he's like a country wannabe hard rock guy. I don't know, man. It's like
Listen, I'm saying I like that song, okay, and it has 136 million plays. So obviously, some other people like it too, okay.
yeah, all the other people who beat
That
their
song-
spouses.
Oh, is that a?
What?
Also, is Nick loading for you, Jamie? or
Yeah,
no?
he got a little frozen and then he's loading.
Oh, okay.
But continue.
No, that's pretty much it. And then I've just been watching. I watch TV in my car now, like anywhere that I go. I kind of just listen to like the background noise. I've had this really weird thing where I just like can't even focus on music. Like I just don't like. I think I'm going through a spell where I just really don't like super enjoy listening to music right now, and I've been binging like movies and shows right now, and so any chance I have to just listen to a show or movie, that's what I do. Like I watched Glass Onion on the plane on the way there. Which is like a Knives Out.
What do you
like,
think about
sequel.
Glass Onion?
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
It's like okay. It definitely wasn't as good as the original.
Nowhere near as good. And my sister and her girlfriend, they like loved it, but I thought it was.
I don't know
like,
if I loved it.
Like it was entertaining, but it wasn't as good.
No,
I still have hope for like whatever the third one's gonna be because they very much set it up as like a,
have you ever
Watson and Holmes kind of vibe.
Yeah, have you ever seen Murder on the Orient Express?
No,
also?
I need to. I wanted to. I just didn't get around to it.
This is not really a spoiler, but like they say Johnny Depp's in it, and then he like dies in the first like 2 minutes.
I thought he was
it's not like
the
a
inspector.
spoiler.
I thought Johnny Depp was like the inspector guy.
No, I'm pretty sure Johnny Depp like.
Oh
dies.
no! He's not the inspector
guys hear
guy.
me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah,
He's not the
I
inspector
think
guy.
my internet is like fucked up.
Ooh, but
Well, anyways,
the guy who was the inspector in a sequel movie that I watched, Murder on the Nile, that's the inspector. Johnny Depp is the one that dies
Okay.
in Orient Express?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Within like the first like so little bit, it's like, oh, Johnny Depp's in this movie.
Yeah. Got the old Bryan Cranston
No, he's not.
Godzilla treatment.
Yeah. Okay, but that's it for me. We can close it out because I don't know how much of Nick's stuff saved. Well, I guess actually it's local.
The recording's fine.
Yeah.
It was
Okay,
just,
okay.
yeah.
Nick's internet said, bye-bye, stinky, uh-oh.
All right, close out, buddy.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can still
Bring
still
her
wrap it up
home.
because, it's late. It's Savage Mode 2, right? That's the name of it. I know I've listened to it before. I just can't remember the name of it. Okay. So with that, we will be wrapping this shit up. Okay, there we go. It's edited now. So we wanted to say thanks for listening this week. It's been a while, but thanks for that. And watching, if you did, remember to tune in next week. I still next episode from the last time. Next week for Savage Mode 2. And once again, if you want to keep up with the show or share your thoughts about this week's episode, check out these socials. We are on Twitter at Listen Up Podcast and Instagram and TikTok, both at Listen Up Pod. Those accounts, as well as our personal handles, the merch link, are going to be in the description of wherever you found this episode. And finally, if you enjoyed this episode, if you could leave a rating or review on your respective platform, that would be fantastic. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, notification bell, all the normal call to action. And other than that, for now, we'll catch you next week. And remember to listen up.